my daughter's house cat, she trained it to hunt rats.
Imagine.
So that it hunts everything?
It hunts everything. And it slaughters stuff. It killed an owl.
Less than a minute, you can
10 seconds.
So I tell it, she keeps it inside now to make sure it doesn't hurt birds, but yeah, it's a lethal cat and it's a house cat about this big. And it takes out everything it can do. And it was because when it was little, Shelby would stalk around with it, trying to teach it to stalk the rats because she wanted all the rats gone.
Yeah.
And they
Right.
did, they all got gone.
We are at 10:30. Is everybody good to go on the technical side of things?
Go.
Awesome. We'll call this qathet Regional District Planning Committee meeting to order for Wednesday, March 6th. I want to acknowledge we're holding the meeting on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish. We have a fairly basic agenda in front of us. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Moved.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the agenda, additions, subtractions? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. We'll move on to the adoption of the minutes. Are there any errors or omissions in the last minutes? Anybody? Thank you. Seconded by Director McCormick. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Delegations or inquiries. I don't think we have any additions. Obviously, we would have mentioned that. No unfinished business that I have listed. Correspondence. We do have 3 items. I'd like to just touch on them just as a matter of interest for folks that are watching. Would anybody else like to bring anything else arising out of our correspondence? Okay. I just wanted to touch really to let people know that typically we'll sort of acknowledge that we have correspondence and move on, but sometimes I like to touch on that so that people understand that we are considering the material. The first one, 6.1, there's been a fair amount of correspondence, emails, and phone calls about water studies basically for Savary Island as we approach the OCP. And really the cool part is that it's all very positive thinking, very forward thinking, making sure that all of the work that's been done in the past to understand water writ large on Savary is factored in, and maybe focusing on what the issue is of our upcoming water studies. So I touched bases with our manager of planning, and she happens to be in the room there. And maybe I could just ask you to summarize. I think, first of all, just state that there's an impression that we have enough water studies to understand everything to do with water on Savary Island. And, you and I have had some discussions, but I think your explanation to me was very good. And I think it would help others that are listening. So you mind?
Sure, yeah.
Alliterating a little bit on this?
Yes, I'm clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, staff are familiar with the studies and the provincial groundwater databases that Savary Shores Improvement District quotes in their letter. And while there have been many previous reports and studies done that confirm the abundance of water on Savary Island, it's also been recognized a concern for septic systems and risk of contamination to that groundwater from seeping septic systems. And because of the small lot sizes and the increased development pressure, this is a real concern. So the groundwater study that's being proposed for this year is going to be based on all that previous work. And we'll be contracting a hydrogeologist to work with us, someone who's in good standing with the Professional Association of Geoscientists and Professional Engineers for BC. And the scope of the work, it's going to build on all that previous groundwater studies and utilize the existing provincial observation well, and include working with Savary Shores Improvement District, Savary Island residents, and provincial ministry staff from Health and Environment. And so at the end of the study, we will have a map of all the known wells, a map of the septic systems, and a summary of the available water quality data. And so all of that information is going to be important to guide the land use policies that are developed through the OCP review and update. So
Yes, thank you for that.
Is clear.
For me, it really cleared up, you know, some of those questions about the details and what we have and what we don't have and filling in the gaps. I appreciate that our constituents want to make sure we're not just gonna, you know, waste resources and money. And I think that for me, I feel completely filled in on the topic. Any other directors want to ask a question, Ms. Rodden? Director McCormick? Nodding? Oh, thumbs up. Yeah, Director Gisborne.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the study relates to septic fields and the contamination or potential contamination of aquifers, because you know where I'm in Paradise Valley, we got quite a good aquifer, but there's also a number of septic fields, and of course we'll just follow provincial guidelines, and hopefully it's not an issue. But I'm curious to see how those two items interlay with each other, because as I understand, all septic fields are provincial guideline constructions. So, because of course, then all fresh drinking water is also provincial ownership. So,
thank you, Ms. Rodden. That helps. Thank you. Just quickly, the 6.2, the correspondence regarding the Krompocker Road zoning bylaw. Again, we do receive these, and all directors will consider all correspondence. And I just want to mention that we do have an upcoming public hearing on March 13th. Did I get that right? Thank you. At the Northside Recreation Center. And then finally, 6.3, I follow this one pretty closely, the Pacific Aquaculture transition. Again, it's out of our wheelhouse, it's with the feds, but I encourage constituents all up and down our coast to pay attention to what the federal government is making decisions on that in our areas. Thank you for allowing me to touch on those. Any other business? Don't see any hands. We'll move on to reports. 8.1, we have an application for Simultaneous OCP zoning bylaw amendment for 7440 Nootka Street in Electoral Area B. We have a recommendation. Director Gisborne, you moving that?
yeah, I'll move the staff recommendation.
Thank you, and Director McCormick seconding. Discussion. Or Gisborne.
We're
Ahead of myself.
Well, we're sitting side by side. We
Yes.
both have blue shirts, so
We look a lot alike.
and my
Yeah, sure.
my chair is sinking down, so we're kind of the same height now.
Good, I don't have. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm supporting denying the application for, you know, the reasons listed that were put forward in the staff report. These were very much similar to my concerns about a year ago when the application came in. It's been a challenging situation up on Nootka, but it's been a challenging situation up on Nootka for, I think probably ever since the zoning bylaw came into effect. The correspondence from the public is kind of interesting around some of the comments around the proposed development. And I think there's a bit of like misunderstanding. There's folks saying, you know, we don't want any RVs. My understanding from the street zoning bylaw is it doesn't really distinguish between like an RV or a house. It's, you know, one dwelling per hectare. And we also had some correspondence back in November from members of the community, and, you know, a bunch of them up on Nootka, where, you know, the attitude is that they're in favor of, you know, some more development, some more flexibility. But the issue that we have in front of us today is not to go, okay, well, we'll allow another dwelling or two dwellings. It's a significant difference between what the zoning bylaw currently allows. Right now, it's 15 dwellings for the property. The application is 177. So that's a big jump. And it makes me think about how the province right now is coming out with these, you know, new requirements predominantly for municipalities, where they want local governments to pre-zone for development, but the province isn't asking local governments to pre-zone one property. They're looking to, you know, look at the zoning bylaws and OCPs in a holistic manner. And that's why, you know, I'm in favor of denying this application because of how much difference it would make between this one property and all the properties around it. And, you know, if we do want to change the zoning bylaw and the OCP for more housing, I think I like balance, I like fairness, and I think it would be more appropriate to change it for the entire neighborhood, but something that works with the whole neighborhood. So those are the ones that really stand out. But then, of course, there's also the traffic impact study and service capacity analysis, and it's, what's the term, a bridge too far? So that's my initial thoughts.
Any other directors? I'll add my comments. Excuse me. I also will vote in favor of the recommendation to deny. I know that sounds a bit in a circle, but the points raised here, the 5 different points raised are completely what I've seen from you know, staff reports and really the public hearing, you know, the engagement that we've had, very clear that these points are valid. So I will be voting in favor of this. Anyone else? All right, do we need to restate the recommendation? I don't think so. We'll ask for a vote. All in favor? Unopposed. Motion is carried. Thank you. I don't think we have any new business. I should ask. Nobody's let me know of any new business. Question period. Do we have the press?
It's not online.
Ah, okay. Anyone else in the gallery? Looks like it's staff, so that's good. In camera, no proposed in camera session. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Good.
They were all in.